0, 1. Let's get started.
Hey, welcome to Elevate Life, the leadership insight show drawn from my Amputate to Elevate podcast. I'm John Register, a two-time and two-sport Paralympic athlete, combat veteran, and Hall of Fame speaker. Now, this show is for leaders in high-stakes transitions who know that letting go of what no longer serves you is the first step to transformation. And every week, we pull insights from world-class guests who have faced their own crucible moments and have elevated. Today, we're learning from Simidele Adeagbo, the first African Winter Olympian in skeleton racing, a fearless competitor who has built her success across continents and careers. We'll explore 3 leadership lessons from her journey: what she had to amputate in order to elevate, beginning later in life to pursue her dreams, and how to harness transferable skills to win in new arenas in life. Are you ready? All right, well, let's hop on in.
0, 1.
Sometimes the heaviest weight we carry isn't physical, it's the invisible baggage of old expectations. Simi faced a moment where holding on to her original identity was keeping her from her next level. And here's what she said that stuck with me.
So my first question for you, you've done a lot of stuff in your life. We'll get into that. But what have you had to amputate in order to elevate to your success?
I to mind is having to amputate a prestigious career or prestige in what some of the world would define as a successful career. I had to amputate that and define career and success on my own terms. Or maybe another way of saying it is I've had to amputate the world's idea of what success is and define success for myself. So I say prestige because I come from a very illustrious corporate background. I worked biggest companies and well-known companies in the world and had a great 10+ years, doing it with the best of the best as a marketeer in the sports industry. And I had an awesome business card that could get me anywhere I wanted to get to. And I had to kind of amputate the idea of, just living someone else's dream and being part of someone else's big corporate machine, which was awesome and I learned a lot from, but kind of defining success on my own terms and being brave enough to blaze a trail on my own terms, even though the prestige of that big company doesn't come with that all the time.
Simi talked about releasing the safety net of her old career path, the image others had of her, and the fear of stepping into something completely unknown. That release created space for possibility. For leaders, this is a gut check. What identity, habit, or old win are you still dragging into today's race? You can't elevate if you're still defending yesterday's trophy. This week, name one thing you're protecting that's actually holding you back, then take one small step to let it go, even if it's just telling somebody you trust that you're ready to release it. Let's get ready for segment number 2.
0, 1.
Beginning later in life. Many people believe that if you don't start early, the window closes. Simi's story proves otherwise. She didn't discover skeleton until well into adulthood, a sport most athletes enter as teenagers. Listen to how she reframes too late.
I think a lot of times people don't think you can do things later in life. When I started that journey to my first Olympic Games, I was 36 years old and learning a completely new sport. And as you said, terrifying to a lot of people. You take a lot of hard hits because that's the only way you can learn in the sport. There's no easy kind of progression. You really start from day one at those high speeds, learning how to drive a sled. And that involves taking a lot of hard hits because that's when you learn what not to do. And so we fail fast. And because of that, that helps accelerate our learning. And so my whole Olympic journey, the first time around, took place in about 100 days or so. So I went from the couch to picking up a sled, and about 100 days later, I was in Pyeongchang, South Korea, making Olympic history. So it was really a whirlwind, but I think just taking those steps, those first steps to say, I want to do something here about this opportunity that I see, and going from there.
Simi embraced the fact that her later start brought a mature mindset, resilience from life's earlier tests, and an urgency to maximize every training session. The age others might have seen as a limitation became her edge. For my clients, executives stepping into new industries or new roles, the same is true. Your accumulated experience can accelerate your adaptation. You're not starting from zero, you're starting from knowledge. Here's a practical insight. Write down 3 life lessons you've mastered that you can apply immediately to your current challenge. Experience compounds, use it as leverage. One of the most powerful tools in any transition is recognizing what you know how to do, and redeploying it in a new environment. Simi's professional and athletic career, her life gave her tools that she could carry anywhere. Here's her perspective.
So there are some transferable skills for those that are, more seasoned and maybe moving and shifting careers. It's not that you didn't have any skill on the previous job or whatever you're going into. You've had those skills, and now it's time to transfer it over. And you did a great job transferring over as well when you were with, leading $1 billion product launches and brand campaigns
Yeah.
across continents. Nike Women and of Africa platform. What's the most
Yeah.
transferable skill between like elite products and building elite people?
Oh, wow. Um, I think it's the same, really. It's that you
Mhm.
have to like really know the product, just like you know the people. So, anytime we started kind of building a product line, we started with first, your consumer. Who are you serving? What do they need and want? And when you're building elite people, you also have to know who you're serving, whether that's yourself, knowing what do you want, what are the opportunities there. So really kind of doing that SWOT analysis, whether you're dealing with product or people, you have to know the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats, and be very real with that. And once you identify that, then you can figure out that game plan to get to market. So when we're building that product line, we have our targets for each of the seasons to reach, like you said, that billion, $1 million, whatever it is. And we know we have 18 months to get to market. What are the milestones that we need to achieve in that 18 months? Who do we also need to bring along? Because nothing happens in isolation. So that is something that I've transferred from the corporate world to the athlete world and the Olympic world. Um, as much as you can have the drive, you can have the determination and the focus. It helps to have a magnificent team that's helping you get there. So you need to build a product. People have no idea what goes into that, from the designing, the developer, the engineering, the person who's looking at each shoelace and knows that we need the 6-cent pair of shoelace versus the 10-cent pair. So the pricing to make sure you're hitting your margin. Then you have to bring along the sales team to make sure we can sell it into retail. There's so many components. And of course, the marketing team who's going to create that demand, talk to the consumers and get the messaging right. So I would say that when you're investing in people too, you have to know what that team around looks like. Who are the right players that are going to support that individual to help them get to their marketplace or whatever their goal is. And so just identifying what that team looks like, and also knowing kind of that roadmap is another thing that I feel like I've learned from the corporate world. That roadmap is really helpful, that structure that you need to identify the milestones, the gates and dates to ultimately get to your goal.
Simi drew on discipline from sports, problem solving from her education, and adaptability from living in multiple countries. Instead of reinventing herself from scratch, she adapted the tools that she already had in her toolbox to fit the new challenges. For leaders, This is the antidote to the imposter syndrome. You've been training for your next role your entire life. You just need to rename the skills for the new arena that you're in. Here's a practical insight. Make a transfer map. On one side, list the 5 skills you've mastered. On the other, write where you now can apply them in your current role or future ambition. 1. Today's conversation with Simidele Adeagbo reminded us that leadership elevation comes from 3 powerful shifts: letting go of what no longer serves you, embracing the courage to begin even when the world says, hey, it's too late, and then third, recognizing that your skills are portable across any challenge. These aren't just athletic lessons. They're executive level strategies for navigating transition and winning in uncertain times. If you're looking for a keynote speaker who can inspire your team with stories that move from the heart to the hard results, or if you want a facilitator to lead your executive leadership roundtable with energy and depth, I'd be honored to serve. Just visit johnregister.com. That's John, JOHNREGISTER.com to explore how we can work together to elevate your next event or strategy session. Until next time, go forth, inspire your world. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.